This course is a companion to the book The Project Brain: Evolving Project Managers, available on Amazon. If you find today's session valuable, the book goes deeper on every framework you are about to learn, including the 3-tier document system, the janitor protocol, synthetic stakeholder simulations, and the full blueprint for an artificial intelligence-powered project management office you can run from your own desktop. You can find it by searching for The Project Brain by Self-Made PM on Amazon, or by visiting selfmadepm.com. Now let us begin the course. 1. Welcome to this 2-hour professional development session on programs and portfolios. Over the next 2 hours, you will learn how projects, programs, and portfolios relate to each other, why the distinctions matter for both exam preparation and real career growth, and how to start thinking at the program and portfolio level from inside a single project role. This course is eligible for 2 self-reported professional development units, abbreviated PDU, with the Project Management Institute, abbreviated PMI, under the online or digital media category. It maps to the Business Acumen edge of the Project Management Institute talent triangle. Let us begin. 2. By the end of this session, you will be able to do 3 things. First, you will be able to define project, program, and portfolio cleanly and explain when each management layer is appropriate. Second, you will be able to describe what program managers and portfolio managers actually do day to day, and how those roles differ from the project manager role you likely hold today. Third, you will be able to apply program and portfolio thinking inside your current role to increase the strategic relevance of your work. Each objective maps to a dedicated section of this course. Here's how we will spend our 2 hours together. Part 1 defines the hierarchy of projects, programs, and portfolios and clarifies the distinctions that trip up most people. Part 2 goes deep on program management, including benefits realization, cross-project coordination, and the program manager role. Part 3 goes deep on portfolio management, including investment decisions, strategic alignment, and portfolio balancing. Part 4 covers how to move up the hierarchy, including how to demonstrate program and portfolio thinking before you have the title. At the end, I will recap the objectives and walk you through exactly how to claim your professional development units. Most project managers spend their careers focused on individual projects, and that focus is a career ceiling that many never recognize until they try to break through it. The project management hierarchy has 3 levels. A project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. A program is a collection of related projects managed together to achieve benefits that could not be achieved by managing them independently. A portfolio is the collection of all programs, projects, and operational work an organization undertakes to achieve its strategic objectives. Each level has a distinct purpose, a distinct time horizon, and a distinct set of management questions. Confusing the 3 is the root cause of most of the misalignment, duplication, and strategic drift you see inside large organizations. 6. Projects produce outputs. A project builds a product, deploys a system, launches a campaign, or opens a facility. The success criteria are well defined: scope, schedule, cost, and quality. A project manager optimizes inside those constraints and closes the project when the output is delivered. Projects are bounded in time and defined in scope. Programs produce benefits. A program is not defined by a single output. It is defined by the strategic outcome the combined outputs enable. Consider a company launching a new product line. One project handles product design, another handles manufacturing setup, a third builds the marketing campaign, a fourth sets up distribution. Individually, each project delivers its own output, but the real value, which is a successful product launch that captures market share, only materializes when all four projects land together. That coordinated collection of projects is a program. 8. Portfolios produce alignment. A portfolio is the organization's complete inventory of initiatives, and portfolio management is the discipline of deciding which initiatives to invest in, which to defer, which to cancel, and how to balance risk across the whole. Portfolio components do not need to be related to each other, which is the key difference from programs. A portfolio might contain a technology modernization program, a standalone facilities renovation, and ongoing operational maintenance work, grouped together not because they share outputs, but because they compete for the same organizational resources and budget. 9. Let us spend some time inside the program management role, because it is where the biggest skill jump in the hierarchy happens. 10. The central shift at the program level is from deliverable management to benefits management. A project manager is accountable for delivering an output. A program manager is accountable for realizing a benefit. If all component projects deliver their outputs on time and on budget, but the combined benefit does not materialize, the program has failed. This is a difficult concept for career project managers because it means program success is not fully controllable by on-time delivery. It requires judgment about whether the underlying assumptions about benefits are still valid, and courage to recommend stopping or pivoting a program when those assumptions break. 11. Program managers spend most of their time managing the spaces between projects rather than the projects themselves. Cross-project dependencies, shared resources, risks that span multiple projects, political dynamics that arise when multiple project teams must collaborate. When two projects need the same engineering resource during the same sprint, the program manager negotiates the resolution. When one project's delay threatens another project's timeline, the program manager orchestrates the recovery plan. This cross-cutting coordination is what makes programs more than the sum of their parts, and it is also why strong individual project managers sometimes struggle in program roles. The skills are overlapping but distinct. 12. At a deeper level, the program manager is an integrator. The organization has decided that a specific set of projects must produce a specific outcome, and the program manager is the human being responsible for making sure those projects integrate into that outcome. This means the program manager is constantly translating between the project level, where specific detail matters, and the strategic level, where integrated narrative matters. They brief sponsors on the whole, they brief project managers on how their piece fits into the whole, and they spend significant effort making sure the projects do not drift apart from each other as they execute. 13. One of the common mistakes I see is an organization labeling a loose collection of projects a program when the projects are not actually related. Simply grouping unrelated projects under one leader does not make them a program. The test is benefit. Can you articulate a single strategic benefit that only materializes if all component projects succeed together? If not, you probably have a portfolio slice with a program-sounding name, and the governance should reflect that reality. Mislabeling leads to wasted coordination cost and confused accountability. 14. Portfolio management is fundamentally about making investment decisions at the organizational level. 15. Portfolio managers ask investment questions. Which initiatives should we fund? Which should we defer or cancel? How do we balance risk across our entire body of work? Where are we overinvested in short-term tactical work and underinvested in long-term strategic bets? Where are we stretching the same resource pool across too many concurrent initiatives? These are executive-level questions that require understanding of organizational strategy, financial constraints, and organizational risk tolerance. 16. Portfolio balancing is the discipline of optimizing the investment mix across competing priorities. Organizations must balance short-term wins against long-term bets, high-risk innovation against safe incremental improvements, and mandatory compliance work against discretionary growth initiatives. Effective portfolio balancing requires visibility into all active and proposed work. Without visibility, organizations fall into the trap of saying yes to everything, overcommitting resources, and then blaming execution when the outcomes come in underwhelming. Portfolio managers use scoring models, alignment matrices, and capacity analyses to make data-driven investment decisions, and they set cadences to revisit those decisions as conditions change. 17. Portfolio-level investment decisions follow a disciplined process. First, every proposed initiative is evaluated against strategic objectives using consistent criteria. Second, initiatives are ranked based on their strategic contribution, risk profile, resource requirements, and expected benefits. Third, the portfolio is constructed by selecting the highest value initiatives that fit within resource and budget constraints. The process is iterative, not one time. As market conditions change, as projects succeed or fail, and as new opportunities emerge, the portfolio must be rebalanced. The best portfolio managers build quarterly review cycles into governance to ensure the portfolio remains aligned with evolving strategy. 18. The portfolio manager is the bridge between strategy and execution. They translate the organization's strategic plan into a prioritized set of initiatives, and they ensure every dollar and every hour of effort moves the organization toward its goals. When leadership asks why a specific initiative is a priority, the portfolio perspective provides the answer through strategic alignment. That alignment is also the answer when leadership asks why another initiative is not a priority, which is often the harder conversation. 19. Understanding the hierarchy is the first step. The second step is demonstrating you can think at the next level before the promotion happens. 20. You do not have to be a program manager to start thinking like one. Inside your current project, start asking broader questions. How does my project connect to other initiatives? Which other projects depend on outputs I am producing? Which other projects produce outputs that my project depends on? What strategic objective does my project serve, and is it still the best use of the resources we are investing? These questions position you as someone who sees the portfolio, and program and portfolio leaders notice. Most project managers stay narrowly focused on delivery, and most of them stay at the project manager level. 21. The skill set transitions from project to program to portfolio are real. Project skills are execution, planning, stakeholder management, and delivery under constraints. Program skills add dependency management, benefits realization, cross-team negotiation, and the judgment to recommend stopping or pivoting. Portfolio skills add financial literacy, strategic alignment, investment decision-making, and the organizational influence to get executives to act on recommendations. You do not wake up one morning with portfolio skills. You build them deliberately, one promotion cycle at a time, by doing work at the level above yours as part of your current role. 22. The skills overlap, but the roles require different mindsets. A project manager focuses on delivering specific outputs within defined constraints. A program manager focuses on coordinating multiple projects and ensuring their combined benefits materialize. In smaller organizations, one person may wear both hats, but in mature organizations, these are distinct roles with different responsibilities and authority levels. Wearing both hats is possible, but only if you can genuinely switch modes and not let the project operator in your head dominate the program strategist you also need to be. 23. Portfolio decisions directly impact project managers because they determine which projects get funded, what priority level each project receives, and how resources are allocated across competing initiatives. When leadership shifts priorities mid-year and suddenly your project is deprioritized, that is a portfolio decision playing out at your level. Understanding portfolio management helps you advocate for your project more effectively by framing requests in strategic terms rather than purely operational ones. "We need 2 more engineers" is an operational request. "This project enables $12 million in enterprise contract revenue, and we are 3 weeks from being a bottleneck to that revenue" is a portfolio-level argument, and it is a different conversation. 24. Let us recap. You now have a clean working definition of project, program, and portfolio, and can explain when each management layer is appropriate. You understand that projects produce outputs, programs produce benefits, and portfolios produce strategic alignment. You understand what program managers and portfolio managers actually do, including benefits management, cross-project coordination, investment decisions, and portfolio balancing. And you have a practical set of questions you can start asking from your current project role to start thinking at the program and portfolio level. Your next step this week is to pick one project you own. Write down the broader program or portfolio it sits inside and test whether your organization has clarity on that larger context. If not, you have identified an opportunity to add value. 25. To claim your 2 professional development units, log into your Project Management Institute dashboard at the Continuing Certification Requirements System, which is abbreviated CCRS. Select Report Professional Development Units. Choose the category labeled Online or Digital Media. Enter the course title exactly as shown on your certificate, which is Programs versus Portfolios in Project Management, what every project manager needs to know. Enter the date you completed the course. Enter the provider name as Self-Made PM. Enter the professional development unit value of 2, allocated to the Business Acumen area of the talent triangle. Retain your certificate of completion in case of an audit. Self-Made PM is not a Project Management Institute authorized training partner, and professional development units on this platform are self-reported. Thank you for spending these 2 hours with me. I will see you in the next course. Thank you for completing this course. If the ideas in this session spark something for you, the next step is the book. The Project Brain, Evolving Project Managers is available now on Amazon and goes far beyond what we could cover in this session. It contains the complete system for building, maintaining, and scaling an artificial intelligence-powered project management office, the full janitor protocol with templates, deeper stakeholder simulation patterns, and real-world case studies from practitioners who have saved 10 to 15 hours per week using these methods. You can find more free courses, tools, and articles at selfmadepm.com. Again, thank you for your time, and remember to log your professional development units. I will see you in the next course. 27.